Hey guys, welcome back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. Hope August is going well. I was gonna call it April. It's like I can't figure out my A months. Anyway, today, some of you have requested me discuss some of my favorite ingredients, which can be a little bit loaded. And I'm not gonna get scientific with these. I'm gonna get into how I use them as an esthetician, why I like them personally in my own skincare routine, and hopefully it'll be of help to you. They're gonna be very straightforward, but they are sort of, to me, the gold standard in skincare. The first thing I'm gonna say is I'm not going to mention SPF because I would not necessarily call out a specific ingredient. Yeah, I could say zinc oxide, but then there's some downfalls with me with zinc oxide. There's some chemical SPFs I do enjoy, some chemical SPFs not so much. Obviously it's super important, the most important to wear your SPF. So stay on that path, but I'm not gonna call that out as favorite ingredients. But just know that that is, of course, yes, it's there. It's part of the umbrella of that. Starting out, let's go with retinol, obviously. As much as SPF is protective, retinol is corrective. All the ifs. Protective, corrective. So retinol, it's going to help, even in over-the-counter percentages, low percentages, it is going to help stimulate fibroblast cells. It is going to produce a healthier, thicker dermal layer. It can help lighten brown spots. It can help even the skin tone. It can help, especially if the pore itself is clear, it can help lessen the look, the appearance of a pore. It can really refine them up. And it just gives the skin, as we all know, this lovely, beautiful glow. Some people can wear it every day, some people cannot, some people can do it once a week, some people can do it in a less percentage, some people can do it in a stronger percentage. It's a vitamin A molecule, it's a lovely ingredient. Like with anything, no matter what, you should be wearing your SPF in the AM, but if you're on a retinol, make sure you're really good about your SPF in the AM. But of course, I mean, that goes without saying, right? We knew I was gonna say retinol, especially after SPF. Hyaluronic acid. And really with hyaluronic acid, I would lump in humectants too. Not just hyaluronic acid. There's glycerin, there's aloe, there's sodium PCA, there's obviously tamarind extract, which I love, there's hyaluronic acid, there's hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid, there's sodium hyaluronate. All lovely, all beautiful, all serving a different purpose. Now the thing with hyaluronic acid is, as we know, it holds 1,000 times its weight in water. It's getting water into the cell, which the skin cannot produce itself. That's why it's a really great ingredient to add to your routine, because skin is producing its own sebum, etc., but it's not producing and then holding on to its own water. So giving it a humectant like that really helps plump up, create that healthy, hydrated cell, that glowing skin, that dewiness, and that sort of, you want to touch and feel that like springiness of the skin. Hyaluronic acid sometimes gets bad press, but I feel like a lot of times the bad press is based around correct things, but it's overgeneralized, so there's a fear-mongering issue going on. Now we're in this race of the higher percentage, and hyaluronic acid, I don't want anybody on like a 5% hyaluronic acid. If you see a brand or a product promoting that, like run the other way. You don't want your humectants to be in such a high percentage where it does start pulling water from other places, including your skin. Remember, if you are in a dry environment, you're gonna wanna totally fine to use your hydrating serums, but make sure you seal it with an oil, with a cream, and then it's fine. But just don't be putting it on, letting it dry, going out and, you know, Arizona weather or Palm Desert weather, and having there be no moisture in the air, so it starts pulling from the skin. Again, that's why you want to be careful too with the percentages. You don't want a super high percentage of glycerin, you don't want a super high percentage of hyaluronic acid. You never do. So those things too are foolish to me. It's like these new high percentage blends I just talked about in the last video, I think, or 2 videos ago, with retinols, which aren't really telling the full story. It's the same thing with hyaluronic acid, and sometimes it's not even, it's the percentage they use, like the raw or trade name ingredient has 5% hyaluronic acid, but then they're only using it in the formula in 1%, and then when you do the math on that, it's not nowhere near that, so it's fine, but yet they're promoting it as 5%, so it's very confusing for the consumer. Anyway, that's a whole nother video that I've clearly gone off on a tangent. Hyaluronic acid, amazing at holding water into the skin. We could say, like similar to SPF, humectants in general, lovely, wonderful for the skin, so many different ones. Green tea. So green tea for me is really an unsung hero. Wow, with the words. I'm not even having a martini. Green tea, especially for me as somebody who is super sensitive to most types of vitamin C, green tea is phenomenal because it's a great antioxidant. My skin doesn't react to it. It actually can help sometimes with inflammation, with acne, with breakout. It's that great insurance policy under your SPF. It really is a great substitute for vitamin C. Also drinking green tea too, of course. Lovely, amazing. On that same path, CoQ10, another great antioxidant that I feel like has a very low risk of irritation and reaction, but another well-researched, really potent, lovely antioxidant to include. It's in our Soothing Facial Oil, and I should mention the green tea water is in our Performance Cream, and green tea extract is in the Sensitive Cleanser as well, the After Show Treatment Sensitive Cleanser. It might be in the original. Of course, I should have researched this. I know. It's just because I've been using the Sensitive Cleanser a lot, so I know it's in there. Anyway, but great ingredients. And lastly, to finish, of my favorite ingredients, we could keep going. Like I said, I've already talked about SPF too, but it's acids. Goes without saying. But again, with acids, a lot of people might have had a bad, situation with lactic acid or glycolic acid or malic acid. Or salicylic acid. There's so many different forms of acids. We now have our polyhydroxy acids, which are a larger molecule and even gentler than, say, a lactic acid. Many different things to look at with acids: percentage, pH, blend. But again, at the end of the day, they're helping to exfoliate the skin, remove that dry, dead layer, create that beautiful, smooth surface, help lighten some pigmentation, lessen the depth of wrinkles by helping to stimulate fibroblast cells and produce that thicker, healthier dermal layer. They can shrink the appearance of pores. If the pore is clear and then you go in there, which is actually one of my favorite things, to clear out a pore in a facial, go in with an AHA or a BHA and then clear out that pore wall and lining. Like, you really can shrink the appearance of pores. Maybe I do need a martini. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, so there you have it. Retinol, hyaluronic acid, green tea, CoQ10, acids, alpha, beta, poly acids, hydroxy acids. And then of course you have the plethora of SPF ingredients. But those are my favorite ingredients, and really most of those create a really healthy skin. Of course you would have a good cleanser mixed in there, but then you have your humectants, you have your retinols, you have your acids, you have your antioxidants, you have your sunscreen, and then a great cleanser. Again, skincare personified really, and you need very little else. I just thought, you might like hearing me talk about my favorite ingredients. If I can actually even speak right, good Lord, maybe I need to pour a martini for the next few videos for August. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, bye.